I can't answer that question.
You can't even say if they've been over?
I can't say anything.
Okay.
I'm not saying no.
Greetings, movie fans. My name's Owen Doherty. You're all very welcome to the Big Reviewski with Omniplex Cinemas and my Omnipass. I'm delighted to be joined by two very special people today. They're both members of a super species thought to be mere myths, but they've now risen from the depths of the earth to vie for supremacy, and all of human existence hangs in the balance. It is, of course, Rory Cashin and Paul Moore. Welcome to the show.
I think that's maybe the most accurate introduction you've given us so far.
Yeah.
My thinking instantly turned to the mole people in The Simpsons coming up from underground when Hans Moleman had the secret lair.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas I know we're talking about, I think a certain monster movie, but yeah.
There might be a certain monster movie out this week, maybe.
It's not Hans Moleman, is it?
It's not Hans Moleman, King of the Monsters. No, that is not.
I need the biggest monster you have. No, that's too big.
So if you would like to get in touch, you can tweet us at Big Reviewski, or you can get in touch on Instagram as well. And please don't forget to subscribe to the show, where you can hear lots more amazing introductions like that. As ever, we're here to spoil you rotten this week, and we have, I think it's 4 amazing stars in the show. So we're going to have Taron Egerton and Bryce Dallas Howard, the stars of Rocketman, and also O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Millie Bobby Brown. Why does everybody have so many names?
It's a lot.
Taron Egerton's the only one with 2 names in there.
And his is hard to say.
Yeah, it's a toughie.
Taron Egerton.
The latter 2, which I think made up about 12 words there, they're both the stars of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, so they're going to be coming up later on the show. But first of all, we're kicking things off with this week's big question. And for this week's big question, it's over to me. Now, I'm Owen. How's it going?
Nice throw to yourself.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Owen. So I was thinking, we've talked about some of our favourite films before, some of our favourite scenes, favourite actors, all that kind of stuff. But I was wondering, what is the one film that, if someone asks for a recommendation, you're like, oh, they probably haven't seen this one? Because obviously everyone recommends some amazing films that everybody talks about. Yeah. But what is that hidden gem of a film that you absolutely love recommending? And whenever they go and watch it, they go, I was really disappointed by your recommendation.
And I'll never trust you.
And I'll never trust you ever again. But that you still love it no matter what. So the film that I was thinking of, that I love suggesting to people, is a film from 2009. And it is Fired Up.
Is that a joke?
No.
What?
Have you seen Fired Up?
I never, ever would have thought this from you.
Are you serious? So, you have seen it?
Yeah.
And you love it?
No.
No? Why not?
I don't remember having any opinion on it.
Really? Paul, have you seen it?
It completely washed over me at the time.
So, 2009's Fired Up. There's a group of friends who, we absolutely love this film. So it was kind of in that era of like weird kind of high school comedies, and it was about 2 guys who like are the stars of the football team, and they discover that instead of being members of the American football team, why don't they head to cheerleader camp instead? But I actually thought it was like a really smart, funny film, and I've had some of the best times of my life watching that film.
What an empty life.
It's true.
Is this the guys who did the Super Troopers? That group, is it the lizard thing?
God, no. It's not them. It's directed by Will Gluck, and this was his first film, and he went on to do Easy A.
Which I love.
Which is a really smart high school comedy. Stone. So I think the beginnings of that were in here, and even watching back some of the scenes, things like Pitch Perfect is such a rip-off of this, except this was cheerleader camp as opposed to a cappella groups. Right. But we have, I can tell by both your faces that you're I
just never would have made that jump. Yeah.
Ditto. But like, I will absolutely give it another.
Please do.
Another go. Like, I kind of recognise buff Luke Owen Wilson.
From Dumb and Dumber or something. Olsen.
Oh, right, yes.
It's Olsen something, isn't it?
So their names are, we have them here, because I know that this is the thing. His name is Eric Christian Olsen.
Yes.
That's it, and he was in Community as well. The third Olsen twin. And his best pal is Nicholas D'Agusto.
But their careers really took off.
Yeah, didn't they? But this is the thing, but your man who plays the coach is absolutely hilarious. Works with Christopher Guest and a
Yeah,
lot of
he's
his
great at everything,
improvisation. His name is John Michael Higgins. It's one of those things you don't know anybody in the cast. You have to look up all of their names. But there's a little clip of Fired Up here where John Michael Higgins is introducing himself as the coach of the cheerleading camp, and he's explained to them about a very particular move that they cannot do at the camp.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am, right here.
I heard that there was this really hard move called the Fountain of Troy that some team did at the Worlds. Are we gonna learn how to do that?
Sure, I'll teach you how to do the Fountain of Troy. Then I'm gonna teach you how to put makeup on a bear! Absolutely not! Not only is that move nearly impossible to execute, it's extremely dangerous. That move is prohibidado.
What?
Prohibidado. And I say that in Spanish because that's how exotic and not allowed it is. You can't even say Fountain of Troy at this cheer camp. Go ahead and say it. Oh, stop it! What are you doing? This isn't a game. I'm not playing around up here.
Honey.
It's just a joke. First week of cheer camp, lighten things up, have a good time. Everybody say it now. Fountain of Troy. Oh, dear Lord! Oh, gosh, shut up! Shut up and Josh!
He's lost his mind.
Stop it! Stop it! Nobody does the Fountain of Troy at this cheer camp.
Now let's all hit the bunks and get a good night's sleep. Welcome to cheer camp.
That's a funny clip.
I'm sold.
Isn't it? You better be telling the
I
truth.
am going to go to my nearest Extravision and rent this now.
Do. It is highly, highly recommended. And as I said, myself and my brother Killian actually invented a drinking game. If you're watching it late at night, it's good fun. Yeah.
Are there
And it
rules
works.
to the game, or?
Oh yeah, no, but I'll tell you.
Watch the movie and drink.
Watch the movie and drink. So you do know the drinking game? Yeah. Oh, I love that game so much. But yeah, so Fired Up is my suggestion to go and check it out.
Right. Well,
100%.
okay, I will.
Yeah.
All right.
Roy, is yours also Fired Up?
No, unfortunately not. Mine is from 2014, and just to be a total snob about it, it was foreign language.
What is this?
It was nominated for Best
it's
Foreign
very
Language Movie. It's called Wild Tales. It is the darkest comedy I've ever seen. It tells the story of six short stories that it's not immediately clear how they're all linked, but they all have to do with people getting revenge on other people for either tiny slights or the biggest things you can imagine. Like the very first one, not ruining anything, is all these people on the plane are like, oh, we've all won this trip to an exotic location. And they're like, oh, you all won it as well? That's so funny that this whole plane is just full of people who've won it. And then slowly they realise that they've all bullied the same person. And then they realise the person they bullied is flying the plane.
Oh no!
So
This sounds like the perfect Roy Cashin film.
it's like, it's really, really, really funny, super dark. It was nominated for Best Foreign Language. No one I know has seen it. Have you?
I watched it because you wrote an article it was on Film For, and I watched it on your recommendation.
Oh.
It was fantastic.
See?
There you go.
It's already worked.
That works.
nuts,
I
yeah.
don't read any of your work, so
can't read.
I don't take. I
do
can't.
blank
I can't.
notes.
No, I know.
Too busy
I
watching
just
Fired Up.
Watch pictures. I just watch Fired Up and drink. That's it.
Can you explain it to me via cheerleading?
Yes, it's a medium I understand.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, hugely recommend it.
Okay, Wild Tales.
I don't have a clip because it's in foreign.
You
can't hear subtitles,
This is
so-
true. This is true. No, definitely go and check Wild Tales. Paul, I'm excited. What did you go
I
for?
get this an awful lot because I used to work in a DVD store, if you remember them. So, you'd always try and go for something a bit left of centre, and you can kind of gauge what people want when they come inside. Like, okay, you're
You'd
usually...
think you would, except he just said fire up.
That's true. That's true. So I'd be like, oh, I'm going for, some romantic stuff now. If you ever came into my store in the past, where's that time machine? But I went for an action film that kind of was below the radar, which was Equilibrium, which kind of was post-Matrix, before Bale was Batman, kind of in that period when he's just about to establish himself as a really big leading A-list leading man. And the fight sequences are brilliant. I mean, John Wick is rightfully getting praise for Gung Fu and all this stuff. This actually genuinely invented a different type of, I suppose, Gung Fu, I guess, at the time. Oddly enough, Taye Diggs is his antagonist in this. Remember Taye Diggs?
Vaguely.
But it's directed by Kurt Wimmer and really taps into kind of like the George Orwell vibe of like the dystopian future. If you like sci-fi, you'll get a bit out of it. If you love action films, there's a lot in this. Like, it's stylish as hell.
Is Sean Bean in this as well?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
He presumably dies.
And yeah,
does.
kind of before the like obviously V for Vendetta, the comic book was written years before, but then that came out and I got a lot of that sort of dystopian vibe to it. But just ticks a lot of boxes, and in terms of action, it was one of those films that really went under the radar, and it only has like 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, which goes to show you that not all the time. I think it's
Oh yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I wouldn't trust that at all.
Stupid critics get it wrong all the time. Here's my review. No, doesn't he get found out because he won't kill a puppy?
yes, that's
So
it.
it's got
Oh,
a
it is
very
very John
John
Wick.
Wick.
Yeah, he's-
but set like a dystopian
Yeah,
future.
because
Yeah,
Bale
yeah.
starts out as like an enforcer to kind of restrict all independent thought, and like certain books have to be burned. So it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
George Orwell. But then he ends up flipping to the freedom fighters
of a
essentially.
puppy.
Yeah,
Because of a puppy. Listen, we'd all turn for a
And
puppy.
it's
Like, do you know
stylish
what I mean?
as hell. It shot the hell out of it, which is a shame because Kurt Wimmer went on to do like Point Break and Total Recall remakes.
Oh,
which are
right,
bad.
which were not fantastic at all.
I think he did.
Was that not Len Wiseman who did Total Recall?
Oh, it could have been. He did
I
do
know
Point
Kurt
Break,
Wimmer
yeah.
did like a few other terrible. He did one called Ultraviolet with
Oh, no.
Millie Jovovich.
that's
It's one of
right.
the worst films ever made.
Len Wiseman did do the remake of Total Recall. I know, no, I'm just remembering. It's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah. You mentioned Film 4 there earlier on. I think Equilibrium is possibly one of the most Film 4 films of all time.
It
It's
even
always on
looks
at
like-
like 11.
This
It's
looks
always
like an
on
ad for
at
Film
like
4.
11:05 p.m. on like a Thursday evening.
1:25 on a
AM.
Monday.
Because it's great.
Down on your knees! Down on your knees! Do it! Do it! Shoot him! On the front! Down the line! Shoot him! Shoot him! What? Ah, shit! Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him!
I remember, I really liked Equilibrium whenever I saw it, and I always remember there's one scene stuck with me. Is there a samurai
Oh, in half.
sword, and the guy gets completely and it looks brilliant. I remember it looking brilliant at the time. And then Fired Up is also a class film
But I'm
that
a-
people
I'm-
should watch.
I'm a sucker for this genre, like dystopian future stuff anyway, and action stuff, because I never saw any of the John Wick films or anything like that. So,
yeah, exactly.
So it ticked my boxes, even before I even knew I had those want to see puppy saved, want to see ridiculously over-the-top action boxes. I didn't
Yeah.
even know they were in me.
So 3 really good recommendations there. Well, the first one is anyway. Fired Up, Wild Tales, and Equilibrium.
Yes, the
So please do-
Oscar-nominated Fired Up.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy from Dumb and Dumberer.
I'd say it probably has about 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, yes. Now, those are all films. You can go and check them out. But new films are also coming out. And
That's how it works.
that's how it works. I didn't even write that one down. That's just off the top of my head.
And you can go-
New
and you-
films are also coming
in
out.
cinemas, Omniplex cinemas.
Sometimes you get a sneak
Films
peek at them.
before,
They're
but
called-
also films in the future.
Sometimes you get a sneak peek at those new films. It's called a trailer. For this week's big trailer, it's over to Roy Cashin.
Oh my god. You got a sneak peek of how your mind works there, like segue.
What's our new
Perfect.
film?
It is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Gotcha.
starring everyone in Hollywood. It's kind of based around the Charles Manson family, but seems to be primarily based on DiCaprio's actor, who is kind of like no longer good or seen as being good in Hollywood, and his stuntman, who's played by Brad Pitt. It's Tarantino's 9th of 10 movies that he says he's going to do before he retires. It screened at Cannes. It seems very long. I think it's pushing 3 hours, but the reviews are fantastic. And then he did a Q&A and pissed everyone off again.
That's right, yeah. I actually thought, because he was asked about, because as you said, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt's there, Al Pacino, but Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie seems like the third highest billed person in the film.
Yeah.
And apparently she has next to no dialogue.
Yeah, and people were criticising Quentin Tarantino in terms of, just not giving her in her female role enough of a chance against like the male actors.
It's been released on like the 50th anniversary of Sharon Tate's murder.
As well,
Coincidentally,
right, okay.
like, which I thought was like, "Ugh."
Which is who she's playing in the film. So this is a little sneak peek, as we said, of a brand new film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm Rick Dalton. It's my pleasure, Mr. Schwartz.
Call me Marvin. Put it there. That your son?
No, it's my stunt double, Cliff Booth.
Last night, we watched a Rick Dalton double feature. All the shooting. I love that stuff, you know, the killing.
A lot of killing.
Anybody order fried sauerkraut? Crime, you Nazi bastards!
Brilliant soundtrack in the trailer straight away. Rick Dalton, brilliant
there?
character name. Oh, I love the music in that. I've no idea what it is.
Oh,
but
I
in
was
that,
like, I thought there was music I should have recognized. Okay.
no, it's class.
Sure.
The trailer's really well put together, and again, a lot of Quentin Tarantino characters just attacking Nazis, which is no bad thing, and burning them up there. Excited about this one?
Yeah, like Tarantino's one of those directors that everything he does is kind of an event. So
Yeah.
even if you don't like a lot of his stuff, you will go and see it. It looks very funny, which I wouldn't have presumed was the right tone to take for this particular story. But you know, he likes making trouble, and he makes trouble better than most. So, and that cast is insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to react to it.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way to put it.
It looks like Brad Pitt's going to be super cool in it, and Leonardo DiCaprio is just going to make a fool of himself, but in a really funny, good way.
Yeah, I think that's like DiCaprio has better comic timing, I think, than Brad Pitt. I've never known Pitt to like
be
anytime.
hilarious.
Actually, no.
True
Burn
Romance.
After Reading.
True Romance is good, which was a
Yeah,
Tarantino
yeah.
script. Yeah.
Burn After Reading. He was
true.
not afraid to make a tit of himself in that
Yeah.
either. So
So when's that out?
August 15th.
Sweet. Stay tuned for that.
Summer.
Yeah, summertime. Now, for other new films that are actually out right now, we had the review of Rocketman, the biopic about Elton John, played by the wonderful and charming Taron Egerton. We did promise all the viewers, all the listeners that we would have Taron Egerton on the show, and we've got him.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Please welcome to the
No, I
studio.
thought it was Elton John.
Elton John, yeah. He's just that good an
He is
actor.
Elton John. That's what the poster says.
Indistinguishable.
Yeah.
Yes. Before we hear from Taron, here is a little look at Rocketman.
There are moments in a rock star's life that define who he is. Where there was darkness, there is now you. And it's going to be a wild ride.
Touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, I'm burning out his future heaven.
So, Rory, you were a fan of this film, recommended it
was.
last
I
week.
did.
In fact, somebody that actually listened to your recommendation was Palmer.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of had to. There's no sound barrier here.
In between.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. I have Rory on mute by doing this la 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 la. I don't know if you missed it in the last episode.
What did you think of it?
I really liked it. Yeah, I thought Rory's comparison to Moulin Rouge was perfectly apt. It's more theatrical than, let's say, biographical like Bohemian Rhapsody. But there were moments I looked at it and I was like, that's Elton John. Like, Egerton is so good in it. Music is great. I thought it was really clever transition to get from the younger Elton into the older one with the Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting vibe. And Richard Madden, I went the whole spectrum on his character. It was like, from like, I love this guy, he's so charming, to what an absolute bastard. He's really good. Great supporting cast. Bryce Dallas Howard's very good in a role I had never really seen her do before. Yeah, really, really good. If you're even if you don't have an interest in Elton John stuff, go check it out.
Brilliant
yeah,
stuff.
It's much better than Bo Rap.
Oh,
I think.
easy, yeah.
We're still going with Bo Rap.
Yeah, we're keeping it cool.
We're keeping.
Why are you fighting against
I'm
being
not.
cool?
I know. It's like I wish I was that cool. I wish I could pull off
Say
Bo
it.
Rap. So, Bo Rap. It doesn't feel right coming out of my mouth. But yes. So as we said, you had a chance to speak to Taron, Rory, and the full interview is up on Joe. It is a very, very enjoyable interview because he talks about sexy hot pants.
Yes, not a lot of opportunity to bring that up with actors. But,
But in an Elton John film,
it's tough to get around.
yeah. But this particular clip that we picked out isn't about sexy hot pants, but it's just, as we said last week, Taron Egerton seems to be really like emotionally connected and affected by the film. So whenever you were saying just nice things about him and about the film, it seemed like to really make an impact on him.
Yeah, like it's easier to talk to the talent when you genuinely like the film. So I was just like, I said the most basic, like, this is really good and you are really good in it. And his response took a second because I was like, oh shit, he's about to cry.
Is he going to cry?
And I was like, please don't cry in this interview because then I'll cry and then this whole thing would be ruined. But yeah, like he does seem genuinely emotionally invested in the film being good. And he's very like, well, if I thought it was good and other people hated it, then I'd have to start questioning my choices going forward, which is legitimate. Because if you're like, this is good, you're like, no, it's not. So
So this is a little clip of Rory trying to make Taron Egerton cry. What a bastard.
It's a relief because, you know, we've all worked phenomenally hard to kind of try and make something that we would feel proud of, and it sort of has come together as recently as the past couple of weeks with all the sound mixing and everything. But the edit was locked a few weeks ago, and I watched it without all of the effects and all the finished sound. But I thought, well, that's something to be proud of, and I think had people not agreed, I would have thought that maybe I could know I had poor judgment. So it's really nice to be validated in that way.
Well, like I said, every aspect of it, I actually can't wait to recommend it to people who normally wouldn't go to see this kind of film because I'm like, it's not what you're expecting.
Rory, you're a legend.
So is the reason you love Taron Egerton so much just because he called you a
I
legend?
loved him. You said I loved him.
Well, I get from you that you love him. We do love him. But he's never
I
called
love him the
the
most because he called me a legend.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you pay him to say that?
I don't have enough money to pay anyone to say anything.
Taron being lovely as ever. As I said, you can check out the full interview up online. Bryce Dallas Howard plays his mammy in the film. Which seems like a weird kind of, because she doesn't seem like she's old enough to play.
She is 8 years older
than
Taron.
Okay. But she is good in the film?
She's really, really good. Yeah, she nails the accent, which I thought was very EastEnders. She does the whole glamorous, icy mother thing really well. And when I asked her, I was like, is it tough to play someone's mother knowing that you are kind of one of the villains in the movie? And she was quite honest about it. She was like, this is how he remembers it. This isn't maybe exactly how reality played out, but he's seen his mother as someone who hated him. So I had to play her that way. So that's you get around it with the fantasy element of the biopic. But yeah, she's it's my second time interviewing her because I interviewed her previously for Fallen Kingdom with Chris Pratt, and she just ran away with it talking about dolphins down in Kerry. And I was like, how did we get here?
She is a bundle of energy.
She is joyous.
Yes,
and
effervescent.
Yes, and since we were, I did bring up, from Ireland, we had talked about Jurassic World, and I had heard rumours on the grapevine that Jurassic World 3 was filming in Ireland. So I had to ask.
Because there are a lot of dinosaurs here.
Yeah.
I think some of them were running for election last week. Hello, topical
political humor. Get it? The doll review scheme, right? But yeah, no. Show. I had to ask. I was like, can you confirm or deny there are Tyrannosaurus Rexes
in Ireland?
In Ireland,
asking the big questions, the hard-hitting investigative journalism that you're looking for about new films. Here's Rory chatting to Bryce Dallas Howard.
Is it true that even, maybe you or not, I don't know, but any part of Jurassic World 3 has been filming in Ireland?
I can't answer that question.
You can't even say if they've been over?
I can't say anything.
Okay.
I'm not saying no.
Okay. That's okay. Well, I hope you did or did not enjoy your time in Ireland.
I wasn't there.
Okay. I think. Okay, we can fill
My
in
toes are like curling right now. I'm like, ah!
Well, thank you for that.
Steven Spielberg will come out here with a raptor.
No. Thank you for that kind of answer, and I look forward to talking to you for that movie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bryce.
Yeah, it seems like Bryce Dallas Howard can't really keep a secret.
Well, she she neither confirmed nor denied.
This is true.
So she was
confirmed.
But definitely confirmed.
But from lack of denial, did confirm.
Yes.
I guess. Yeah, I think what it will end up being is not maybe what everyone expects it to be, but I am excited to see what she did or did not hint towards.
Yes.
Or didn't hint towards.
Yeah. And I love the fact, again, like, as desperate as we always are, the three of us.
I am desperate.
To find any full stop.
specific.
Just full stop. But specifically in relation to, we're now claiming, or potentially claiming, Jurassic World 3 as an Irish production, if some of it or something was filmed here as well. So we'll take it.
It's going to be more leaks from her Star Wars episode she's directing than anything. She's moving into directing now.
Brilliant,
so there won't be a secret kept on that set anyway.
Not at all. So that is Rocketman out in cinemas. Highly recommended by both Paul and Rory as well.
And the director interview, Dexter Fletcher, is up online.
Oh, yes, of course, Dexter's up there as well. Most fondly remembered as Babyface in Bugsy Malone.
And Bo Rap director.
And Bo Rap, he came in to rescue the show.
No, he directed it. We can say that.
The non-Oscar winning director.
One of the other big releases that's out this week is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Again, we've interviews with the director, Mr. Michael Doherty.
Yeah, no relation.
Also, no relation, spells it different. Michael, Owen, they're two different names anyway. Really bad joke. Sorry, mark it down. Oh, God. I knew
well,
as soon as I said
doing well.
I shouldn't have said it.
So well. It's the longest without a terrible joke.
I saw the dreaded diamond pen coming out the glint. Just caught my eye. But yes, we also have O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Millie Bobby Brown, two of the other stars of the film. We couldn't get Godzilla. He only does things like the Graham Norton Show and Late Night US
too
talk
big for
shows.
us now.
Too big for us.
Too memes.
But yes, before we get chatting to the stars of the film, here's a little look at Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
So you'd want to make Godzilla our pet?
No. We would be his.
They all respond directly to an alpha.
My God. Godzilla.
Okay, so that wasn't the Godzilla clip that I was planning.
Far more terrifying.
Way more terrifying. That is, of course, Pugzilla, King of the Monsters.
Dogsters.
King of the Dogsters with Katora in there as well.
And you know how we feel about cats.
Yeah, I would watch a full 95-minute version of that film.
I would solely fund $200 million version of that.
This is Roy Cashin, who said he has no money to pay anyone
This
to
is
do
why
anything.
I have no money. I keep investing in these terrible
cat
films.
films.
Meg in there too.
Yeah, that was if we should start a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter for making that a real film. That was our pals over in JOE.ie put that together, and it is fantastic. But let's take an actual look at the actual film, which is actually Godzilla, King of the Actual Monsters.
Actually.
What we are witnessing here is the return of Titans.
How many of these things are there?
17 and counting.
That's messed up.
Mothra, Rodan, Ghidorah.
Oh my. They're moving like a pack. They're hunting. They all respond directly to an alpha. We stop this Ghidorah. We stop them all.
Is there another creature that might stand a chance against him?
That film also looks amazing, as well as the Pugzilla one. The real one also looks
like
good.
The Godzilla looks less intimidating. Again, there's just no cats.
That's what it is. Yeah. Well, as we've established previously on the show, cats are the most evil force on the planet.
Like this December when Cats is coming out, someone else is going to have to.
You're like not doing it at all. Okay, so as we said, we did promise O'Shea Jackson Jr., who we're fans of here on the show because What's he been in so far?
Den
Den
of
of
Thieves
Thieves.
and Straight Outta Compton,
Yeah, exactly.
And Long Shot.
Yeah, he's great in Long Shot, yeah.
So he's putting together this really nice, wee kind of CV of just really strong performances, supporting roles in some of them, and then Straight Outta Compton, obviously one of the leads in that as well. And like no fear of like kind of stepping out of his dad's kind of shadow, who is Mr. Ice Cube. And like, there was never even a need for a paternity test there. They're like actually, I don't even know if there was a mother involved. It's just, it's literally Ice Cube produced O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Like Godzilla.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what the only like real, I feel the only proper difference is that Ice Cube, I don't think I've ever seen him smile. Whereas O'Shea is one of the like happiest dudes I've ever encountered. Like,
if your dad like kind of changed the music genre or like the music as we know it, and it's just incredibly minted, and you've got an acting career out the back, I'd be smiling all the time as well.
I never have to pay for anything.
Yeah,
no, he's just such a lovely, lovely dude. I interviewed him once before for Den of Thieves and told him that O'Shea is essentially an Irish name and that it means hawk-like or majestic.
Which he absolutely loved.
He was joyous at the news of that. So when I sat down with him this time, like it's been nearly 2 years since then. So the first thing I said was like, I don't know if you remember, but I actually told you about your name. It meant hawk-like. And he's like, and majestic, Rory. I was like, oh, did you remember?
He watched the interview on Joe just before.
He got Cube Jr. there again, instantly like that.
I was like, oh, you do remember. Great. And I told Millie I did try to find a definition for her name, but Millie is super not an Irish name, so it is a French name, and I told her what it meant in that, and you'll see her reaction. But also, this is her first movie ever. Like, she's done obviously Stranger Things and stuff, but for her first movie, she's genuinely involved in saving the world. So it's like, this is a big first step for you. How do you feel about that? So here's her reaction to what her name means and to saving the world for the first time.
I looked up to see if Millie maybe had a particular Irish slant. It turns out it doesn't. It's super French. Did you know that?
Super French.
Je t'aime.
Oh.
Merci beaucoup.
But it actually means subtle strength.
Oh.
Ooh. Which means, you know, they're strong, but you don't realize it.
Yeah.
Which is a lovely segue to the movie because...
because Madison is very strong.
Yes, and you don't think it immediately, but it turns out you have a big part in trying to save the world.
Yeah.
And for a first movie, that's a
big
take.
It's a big thing.
How do you feel about that?
You know, I had a really great cast to kind of help me along, you know. I had never done a movie before and everyone else had. So for me, I was like, oh God, okay. Hi, my name's Millie, you know, and even though I was on a TV show, it was so different, you know, so I was just kind of, it was like the first day of school. Yeah. I was like, oh God, and then everybody kind of just welcomed me in immediately. Like, when I say welcomed me, it was because I'm a minor, you know, I usually just go to school, go on set, go to school, go on set, but on the set, like, everybody was just really like, it was like I kind of got treated like the same as everyone, which was nice.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. is incredibly smiley.
He is, yeah. He loves a good smile, does O'Shea. That's how you know he's Irish.
Great.
Because he's super smiley.
Great feet.
Yeah.
Great feetless.
Yeah, so you mentioned there that he's putting together a pretty good CV, and as is our jobs when we go to interview these people, we're always looking to see what they do next. So I brought up the fact that Millie is already signed on for 2020's Godzilla v. Kong.
I thought you were going to say 20 more Godzilla films.
No.
Bring him on.
20 more films.
2020's Godzilla v. Kong, which I'm very excited about.
Yes.
But O'Shea, on his IMDb page, is down for something very exciting, something I feel Paul would be very excited about. And I'm just going to let O'Shea's reaction spell that out.
Okay.
I was looking at IMDb and your next two projects in this, and I got so excited for them both because I am obviously a massive film fan. Anyway, one is Godzilla v. Kong, and one is Space Jam 2.
I knew he was going to say Space. I'm not in. Listen, the internet is too powerful. I'm not in Space Jam 2.
Are you upset about it?
Yeah, I'm furious.
Okay.
No, the internet just took something and they ran with it, and a report got out of him in Space Jam 2. That's not the case.
I think
but I
the
want
moral
to
of the
be.
story is
Get Shay in Space Jam 2.
Or don't believe
that's
everything
one.
you read.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah.
And also get Shay in. Hashtag get Shay in
Shay.
Space Jam 2.
Okay.
I need it.
Yeah.
Which
got
also
two
goes into
different-
hashtag
okay.
pay Shay.
Okay. All right.
Shay Jam too, maybe.
Yeah, Shay Jam 2.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Well, Rory, you were right.
Yep.
As ever. Space Jam 2 does feel like a very Paul Moore film.
I'm already thinking, is he going to be like on the Monsters team? Is he going to be on LeBron's team? I'm already thinking like
He might not be in it at all.
Well, this is the thing.
He's in it, damn it.
Let's
He's in it.
establish
I'm
the
willing
fact
him
he's
into
not. He's not in it, but he does want
But
us
he
to
says
start.
he's not in it.
Okay.
So
he does want us
He
to
can
start.
send his dad into a meeting and he'll get a role.
is true,
Like Ice Cube
yeah.
will intimidate you till you break. It's like
But the petition, we're going to get that up and running anyway to get him.
I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah. Change.org.
It's a good. It's a good use of our time. Definitely. So, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It is out in cinemas now. I know, Rory, your review is up online. I haven't read it yet. As I said, I don't read any of your work, and I can't read anyway. One of the things I loved about the trailer, which look amazing, use Somewhere Over the Rainbow and some Debussy as well. The music in them is brilliant. They're just beautifully put together. I'm hoping the film's along the same veins. But there is one brilliant line in the film where Kyle Chandler says, "My God." We said we love my God lines.
We do. We love Kyle Chandler.
Yeah, and then Bradley Whitford adds in a little Zilla. You're like, yes, my God, Zilla, which works for me. But
That works for you.
that works for me.
It's like West Wing level dialogue.
Yeah. But did the rest of the film work for you?
Okay, so I also interviewed the movie's writer and director Michael Dougherty, and he said that the first movie was to him Alien, and this to him was Aliens. Now that's a trigger for me because we know how I feel about
Yes,
aliens.
and of course because this film is a sequel to Godzilla.
Yep.
Yeah, just in case people...
Godzillas.
how many Godzillas? Like 120 Godzilla films at this stage?
So he was like, yeah, the first one's all hinting and shadow and blah, blah, blah. And this one's like, more. Now, the thing I feel he may have forgotten about Aliens is that even though, yeah, there is more, it's almost an hour before the first alien pops up in Aliens. And the characters are great and the dialogue is still great. In this, anytime anyone is talking, it is like... As a director, he's great. As a scriptwriter, he needs just to pass that on to someone else because you're saying there the "My Godzilla" line.
Yeah.
Almost every line in this film is like what I call a trailer line.
Right,
where it's
okay.
like, "My God, what's happened? What have you done? Look at this thing." Like everything, no one speaks in conversations. Everything is aligned up like, that's a good trailer line. Like we can put that in later. But whenever the action is happening, it looks incredible. It sounds incredible. It's so loud in a really great way because obviously it has to be. It's like huge monsters and shit like kicking each other to death. Like it's half a really enjoyable sensory overload where it's like this is almost too much for my brain to comprehend. And any time it stops to talk, it is quite bad.
That's a shame because like Charles Dance, Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, all good actors. Like
When
really
you
good actors.
like when someone else goes to see it and they see what Charles Dance's plan is.
Charles Dance plays a villain. Dun, dun, dun.
Like the reasoning behind why the humans are doing what they're doing is like I can't comprehend that anyone was like, yeah, that's
a great idea, Mr. Charles Dance.
That seems legit. Let's get hundreds of people behind that. And there's some major big swings in this as well, like just in terms of the story where stuff happens, and it reminded me of Aquaman, where it was like, what?
What's going on here?
But not in a fun bonkers way, because the first Godzilla almost wanted you to take it very seriously.
Yeah.
It was almost like
a long time to get to where it wanted to be.
I actually really liked the first
the
Godzilla.
opening of it, because that was Gareth Edwards.
It was, yeah.
And like, you know, even the opening with Bryan Cranston and Juliette Binoche is like, oh God, this is a
was only in it
heart-wrenching drama.
Yeah.
And
Was
then
Binoche only in it for like 5 minutes? Though,
yeah,
wasn't
and
she?
like those kind of sneak peeks and like little hints at the monster, and you're like, oh,
There's a
what's
bit on
going
the
on?
ship. I remember he brought down all the cables. Was amazingly done, and
Yeah.
then the Halo drop. I think that a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
people,
right.
because the trailer was so good for that, people are like, oh, they were expecting that type of film, which I feel in King of the Monsters is an extended action set piece.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if like the first Godzilla built up to a huge action set piece, whereas this is like one huge action set piece after another, which after a while it's kind of like they're just kind of knocking over buildings again.
Yeah.
It does look great and sound
Yeah.
great, but when there's too much of it, it's as big a problem as not enough of it.
Is this one of the loudest films you've ever seen, do you
It's
think?
definitely up there. Like, do go see it on whatever cinema screen you can find that has, whatever Omniplex cinema screen that has, that has the best sound system, because
100%.
it's really, really good. And the new monsters they've created, they all have their own like individual vocal sounding thing, and especially that King Ghidorah, that's the one with the 3 heads. When that screeches, you're like, oh, it's like goosebumpy kind of unnerving stuff.
It's like Rory in the shower whenever the cold water comes on.
But I like the fact
Why do you know that?
I like the fact they kind of set up the shared universe with the what's the mysterious company that was set up at the end of
Monarch.
with Skull Island, and I love Skull Island. I thought it was just a really clever, stupid, big, loud film, you know, but had just enough character to kind of keep you hooked. But when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, yes, I will 100% be here for it. And let's face it, like if it is just a big, loud film, like it's summer. This is what you want.
I know, and like. Yeah, I agree. But the plot that they pinned it to is so stupid that it does undermine all the good work. It is. I still enjoyed it, but I do wish, like, the director had stayed on. But I do wish someone else had written it.
Any post-credit teasers or anything
Yeah,
like that? Yeah,
Okay,
there sure
so
is. There's
stays.
one that is
Really loud ones.
Well, I actually asked the director. It's up on. It will be up on the JOE website soon. What it meant, and he tells us. Well,
excellent.
Because in Skull Island have the sound of Mothra or something like that at the effect or something like that. I
Skull
remember.
Island. The end of Skull
Had
Island was
something like that.
basically like Tom Hiddleston and future wife Brie Larson.
That's Rory's future wife, not Tom Hiddleston's future wife.
Just meeting up with the first people to create Monarch, and they're like, "Look what we've done, and this is why." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one sets up something big for Godzilla v Kong.
Okay, I know how you get bigger than this and
The
17 monsters,
Jurassic
of course.
Park, Pacific Rim, put them all
of those
together.
things.
Yeah.
You're really pushing this film. So that's Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Go and see it on as big and as loud an Omniplex screen as you can. One of the other releases this week is Ma. Which is the latest horror from Blumhouse. I know, I feel like this film's going to go down well in Ireland, just with a lot
What
of
are you
like,
gonna
your
say?
ma, my ma, this ma.
Ma.
Ma. But yeah.
Or if you go into the cinema, you can have 2 tickets to your ma.
To your ma, please.
Yeah, Ma.
Yes, before we hear the review of the film, here's a little look at Ma.
Excuse me, can you buy some booze for my friends and I?
Not interested.
Please?
Hell.
Ooh, there's my girl.
This never happened, okay?
Thanks again for doing this, ma'am.
You guys want to party like rock stars? Follow me.
Let's get drunk!
The bar is open.
What do you think? We don't know this chick.
It ain't much, but it's all you.
Cool basement.
You're free to do whatever you want down here, but nobody go upstairs.
This is so sick.
Welcome to Mars.
What? Love Ma?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
How did she get our numbers?
You know where the party is. Those earrings are beautiful, Maggie. You got a sweet mama, huh?
Who are you with? Just some kids from school?
You have a boyfriend. Men are dogs.
There's something off about Ma.
Seriously? She's harmless.
Octavia Spencer looks like she is having the time of her life in this film. The trailer goes from that kind of everything's cool and happy and fluffy to, oh my God, she's completely insane. So what's the film about?
Well, Octavia Spencer plays Ma, who is initially a friendly enough kind of neighbor in the town who a group of teens are like, can you buy us alcohol so we can go drink in this abandoned warehouse?
Standard request.
Yeah, and she does because she's like cool.
Signed.
And then someone calls the police and they're like, you can't drink in this abandoned warehouse. It's not safe, and also you're kids. So the next time Ma's like, why don't you just party in the basement of my house? And I'd rather you were safer here knowing that you're not doing anything stupid.
That's such a lovely motherly thing to do.
No red light is going off
Go
in my
party
head
in my
at all,
locked
yes,
basement.
And so the kids come over and then they are like, oh, Ma's really cool, blah, blah, blah. And Ma starts acting kind of creepy towards them all, very like ownership over them. Like she's like, I'm one of you, but also like don't wrong me. Or
She's a smother mother.
Okay, it's Mama.
That's Mama.
Yeah, and it all starts to spin out from there. Luke Evans is in it as well, and Juliette thumbsucker from...
Thora Birch?
No, from...
Juliette Lewis?
Yes, from Cape Fear.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like there's an impressive cast. It's written and directed, I think, by Tate Taylor, who did The Help. So I feel like he must have been like, oh, this is my Us, or this is my Get Out. It's not. It's super not. The reasoning behind her flip is so offensive. It is...
So offensive?
Really offensive. Like, I'm waiting for a huge backlash.
Like a reaction to the film.
To this, because I think they're trying to set it up almost like Carrie without the superpowers, where it's like someone has done something wrong to her and she's going to get revenge. But the thing that they did wrong is like when you see what they did, I was like, yeah, great, all right, do what you need to do, because like. And they're making her out to be the bad guy. I was like, no. I can't talk about it, but
right,
it's...
Yeah.
I feel like I really want to see this.
Yeah, I know. That's really interesting, because I wasn't expecting that at all.
Like it's... I'm waiting for... there will be think pieces and long reads about how they have mishandled...
This sounds like I need to learn to read. Like almost as if it would be worth it.
It's a bit late now.
No, I can give it a go. I've got a few years.
Just keep getting by on your looks.
Cheerleading talent.
I got a few years left of me. I think I'll learn to read. Okay, is it scary or creepy, or is it kind of like that black? You get from the trailer that it's like a black comedy, like really dark.
It has one really good jump scare, and everything else is really heavily signposted.
Okay.
It doesn't. It's not really a comedy either. No.
Right.
Like it's. It was actually okay for the first little bit when you're like, why is she? And then the second they reveal why, you're like, oh, I want no part of this.
Okay.
So
I wonder what it is.
She's really good in it.
Octavia
Spencer is fantastic in it.
She's a brilliant actor.
She is having a great time. In a role that like you wouldn't normally see her in.
Well, obviously, as you said, because she was in The Help with the director of this film, so he obviously saw something in that film that he was like, we need to make a horror film together
tap into that,
as well.
Like intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because normally she's like the nice kind of sassy best friend. She's The Shape of Water as well.
Right, yeah.
As the sassy, helpful best friend.
And she's sassy mother in Coach Carter as well, where she gives Samuel L. Jackson a talking to. Right, this is intriguing. Okay. I'll go and check that out then.
Okay.
So Ma is in. Is it a good film to take your mommy to the cinema?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so I was going to just say
take
your ma to see Ma.
your mom?
No, we are not taking each other's mothers to the cinema.
Why not?
I think that'd be a nice,
if you like to
triple date.
What about your daddy? Could you take your daddy to the cinema?
That's it. Cinema daddy.
Cinema daddy.
That's crossing a line, lads.
So if you'd like to take your cinema daddy or mommy to see Ma,
so wrong.
Ma is in cinemas this week as well.
Let's fill it with cider.
So it's time to move on to competition time. And
Thanks, Daddy.
Yeah, for last week's High Clue giveaway, we were giving away tickets to an advanced screening of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. So there were a bunch of winners off that, but congratulations to Stephen Morris, Andrew Burke, Kaylee Donegan, who won sets of tickets to go and see the film. Last week's High Clue was Magic Cop's Class Friend, Mixed Up Bros Step Up at Prom, Shady's Darling Lead. And as we said, for everybody listening, Cops was Cop apostrophe S, and Shady's was Shady apostrophe S as well. So I think at the end of last week's show, you guys you got it pretty much straight away. So what do you think the answer is?
Is it a certain remake of an 80s TV
22
show?
Jump Street.
It is not 22 Jump Street. Take away one. So close. I haven't seen the first 20. It is, of course, 21 Jump Street. So if we go back to the High Clue there for a second, Magic Cop's Class Friend. Magic Cop was in relation to Channing Tatum, Magic Mike. Class Friend because they are class friends, but they're also in the same class, both in school and in the police academy.
Yes.
The second line was Mixed Up Bros Step Up at Prom. Step Up, another reference to Channing Tatum. The whole climax of the film is at the prom, as any decent high school comedy needs to be. Mixed Up Bros because they play brothers undercover and they get their roles mixed up. And the final line was Shady's Darling Lead. Darling had a capital D because it's in reference to Brie Larson, who plays
wife.
Wendy Darling, Rory's wife. Plays Wendy Darling in the school production of Peter Pan. She's also the lead in that play and the lead in the case that they're doing. And Shady was a reference to
Eminem.
because Jonah Hill.
When they one bag it, or one shoulder. Isn't
That's
it?
right, one shoulder, two shoulder. But Jonah Hill looks like Eminem with the bleached hair and the white T-shirt whenever he's in high school. So there's a nice, tasty hint lasagna for you.
We like Miller and Lord. We really like Miller
geniuses.
And Lord.
Yeah, definitely. And 21 Jump Street, watched it again recently.
22 Jump Street's a really
yeah.
It's a shame, actually. I think they're not really going to finish off the trilogy, because remember they had that at the end. They had like 20 different ideas.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
They just threw them all out there. Yeah.
But it is
they were
a very
so close to making the third one Men in Black.
Yeah, I remember asking John Hill that. Yeah.
A very, very funny film. So 21 Jump Street. But are you ready for this week's High Clue?
More than ever.
I am ready.
More than ever. That's ready. The most ready I've ever been in my life. Okay, so this week's High Clue is Fed Suits Tasty Case, makes contact with Godfather, face off with the pigs. So Fed Suits Tasty Case, makes contact with Godfather, face off with the pigs. And again, for anybody listening, Godfather, it's not one word, it's two separate words. So quick syllable count. Justine? No, she's not here today. Fed Suits Tasty Case, 5. Makes contact with Godfather, 7. Face off with the pigs, 5. That's the most nervous part of every show each week, when I'm like,
getting them wrong.
Oh God, can I count? Because you know I can't read. So it's a toughie. So any ideas on that one? Anything coming to mind?
Yeah.
But without shouting out the answer?
I've got one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Rory's face. What are you?
I don't know.
Thinking?
I'm thinking stuff.
Okay.
Stuff is being thought of.
Yeah. So thanks a million to everybody joining us on this week's show. Thank you to Paul.
It's not that much of a read.
And a thank you to Rory. And a big thank you to Mick, who's working on the show today, and also Shane. So thanks for all your help, and thank you to you for watching. Next week's show, again, another jam-packed show. We're going to have stars of X-Men.
Too many people.
Dark Phoenix, which is coming up. It's like, I don't know what number of X-Men films we're on now. There's a gazillion of them.
The 11th or 12th.
Right. It's
So
one of those.
it's up there.
Have a great week, everybody. And yeah, we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
I plan on being around.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. Happy days.
I
See you
got
then.
nothing on.
Bye. Please subscribe.